Good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have an update on what's next for undefeated 3-division world champion, superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis, who at one point simultaneously held the WBA super title at 130, the WBA regular title at 135 and 140, that being Gervonta Tank Davis, who is now 26 wins, no losses, and no draws, 24 big wins by way of knockout, 27 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. The last time we saw Gervonta Tank Davis in the ring was December 5th in Los Angeles, California at the Staples Center when he took on Mexican star boxer Isaac Pitbull Cruz, and he won a unanimous decision over Isaac Pitbull Cruz, who is now 22 wins, 2 losses, no draws, 15 wins by way of knockout. He is 23 years of age, 5'3", with a 63-inch arm reach. With that said, Gervonta Tank Davis, he broke his left hand in the fight with Isaac Pitbull Cruz, and the fight was more competitive than what most people thought was going to take place. And so because of that, a lot of people, they felt Isaac Cruz actually won the fight, or they felt like it should have been a draw, and Isaac Cruz deserves an immediate rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis, okay? So with that said, Gervonta Tank Davis initially was scheduled to face another guy. Oh, Isaac Cruz has a draw on his resume as well. Gervonta Tank Davis was initially pegged to face off against WBA lightweight interim world champion star boxer Rolando Romero. Rolando Romero is 26 years of age. He is 14 wins, no losses, no draws, 12 wins by way of knockout, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach. Okay, he was originally scheduled to face off against Gervonta Tank Davis, but due to some serious allegations alleged against Rolando Romero, he was pulled from their December 5th showdown. And because he was pulled from their December showdown, Rolando Romero was replaced by Isaac Pitbull Cruz on about a 5 to 6 week notice, okay, ahead of the fight. Well, those allegations have now been since cleared for Rolando Romero. He's been cleared now, and Rolando Romero is going to get what he deserves, in my opinion. Now, initially, when this fight was talked about, Rolando Romero and Gervonta Tank Davis, I didn't feel like Rolando Romero deserved the opportunity because he just hasn't proved it in the ring. When Gervonta Tank Davis is considered the cash cow, the pay-per-view cow, and the superstar from 140 junior welterweight on down, okay? And Gervonta Tank Davis is 27 years of age, and he should be fighting big-name fights, especially on pay-per-view, okay, to be pay-per-view worthy. The biggest name he's fought in his career is 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Leo Santa Cruz, who he knocked out brutally in the 6th round of their fight, okay? And Leo Santa Cruz, he moved up, obviously, through weight classes and through divisions. Leo Santa Cruz is for sure a first ballot Hall of Famer, in my opinion. The only losses on his resume, he initially had, avenged. He came in the fight against Gervonta Tank Davis with 37 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 19 wins by way of knockout. He had lost to, Carl Frampton back in July of 2016, but he came back in January of 2017 and he beat Carl Frampton. So he lost a majority decision, and then he came back and won a majority decision, okay? So Leo Santa Cruz, he came back, he avenged that. So he fought Gervonta Tank Davis October, Halloween of 2020, and Gervonta Tank Davis brutally knocked him out. But that's the biggest name on Gervonta Tank Davis's resume to date, okay, as far as Hall of Famers go. Now, you could possibly put Yuriorkis Gamboa, 3-division Olympic gold medalist, world champion, on that list as well. But you want to see Gervonta Tank Davis in there with the absolute best there is to offer. And so with that said, there's much bigger names and much bigger fights than Rolando Romero. Nonetheless, he was the one that got the opportunity. Now, here's where I agree with Rolando Romero. What I'm about to tell you guys is that he's going to be fighting Gervonta Tank Davis in his next fight. Okay, that has now been confirmed. I watched the interview that was done with Gervonta Tank Davis's trainer, Calvin Ford, and once I watched the interview with Calvin Ford, and he stated that Rolando Rolly Romero is more than likely next. I reached out to a few people that I know, and they confirmed that yes, they will be getting, if they're already, if not, there will be in negotiations to get a deal done for Gervonta Tank Davis to fight Rolando Rolly Romero. Everything is hinging on, obviously, Gervonta Tank Davis's hand. Gervonta Tank Davis broke his left hand, which is, he's a southpaw, so that's his money hand, okay? And Gervonta Tank Davis, he broke his hand in the 6th round against Isaac Cruz. Now, obviously, that was December 5th, so we are now currently, January 18th. So, that he's been almost 2 months since he broke his hand. And so they're looking to schedule his next fight, and it could possibly be in April, okay? It could possibly be in March as well. So more than likely they're looking at March date for Gervonta Tank Davis because they're looking at Errol Spence Jr. versus Yordenis Ugas in April. They don't want to have too many pay-per-views overlapping, and definitely not in the same month. So they're looking to have the fight take place in March, okay? We know Keith Thurman is going to be on pay-per-view in February. You'll possibly get Gervonta Tank Davis versus, Rolando Rolly Romero in March. Then in April, Errol Spence Jr. In May, so on and so forth. Okay, so they don't want to overlap the fans with, a ton of pay-per-views, especially not on the Premier Boxing Champion PBC side with Mayweather Promotions. So great news is that Rolando Rolly Romero will be the next opponent for Gervonta Tank Davis, and rightfully so, in my opinion, because here's why. I felt like he should have gotten the opportunity, after he was proven to have no charges against him. There's nothing sticking. There's no court case. There's nothing against Rolando Rolly Romero. Now, initially, I understand business-wise, taking him out, removing him from the fight, because you just can't have that type of cloud hanging over you as you're trying to promote a fight. And as serious as this, when women making these types of claims, and they're stating that they were willing to show up to the press conferences, the media workouts and things like that, and they're willing to kick up some dust. So you got to be very, very careful when it comes to things of that nature. So with that said, they had to remove him from the fight and from the promotional aspect, and I understand that. Well, now since he's been proven innocent and Gervonta Tank Davis has won the fight, now I believe that you have to give Rolando Rolly Romero his opportunity now to put food back on his table, because food was taken off at his table and it was unjust, okay? And so with that said, I do believe that this is the correct way to go. Now, obviously, I personally would love to see Gervonta Tank Davis in the ring with much better opposition. I would love to see him in there. He fights from 130 to 140. I would love to see him against Regis Ruguru Prograis. I would love to see him in the ring with Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko at 135. There's definitely big fights to be made for Gervonta Tank Davis that are bigger names and, in my opinion, more deserving of a pay-per-view showdown and opportunity than Rolando Rolly Romero. But since he was initially pegged and put in that position, and it was unjustly taken out of the position and food was taken off of his table, then I truly believe that Rolando Rolly Romero deserves his opportunity to put food back on the table and feed his family. It's not his fault that he was chosen to fight Gervonta Tank Davis, and then these allegations came up, okay? They're both under the same promotional company with Mayweather Promotions. And according to Calvin Ford, he stated that it's an easy fight to be made, and that's the reason why they're going that route, okay, to choose Rolando Rolly Romero, because it's an easy fight to be made. So with that said, obviously we know Floyd Mayweather himself, he stated that, Gervonta Tank Davis was going to fight in-house fights, okay, that he was going to, fight, guys under the Mayweather PBC promotion because they have a whole stable. Well, they don't have a big stable of big-name fighters for Gervonta Tank Davis, especially as you're selling him and pushing him as the cash cow and the pay-per-view superstar that are pay-per-view worthy fights. I don't think that Isaac Cruz or Rolando Rolly Romero are pay-per-view worthy fights, but nonetheless, in Rolando Rolly Romero's situation, he was already put in that situation and he deserved the opportunity to get it back. So I believe that this fight should happen as soon as possible, because I think that Gervonta Tank Davis at 27 years of age needs to start moving on and needs to start getting the big worthy fights. Vasyl Lomachenko is a pay-per-view worthy fight for Gervonta Tank Davis. Okay, Devin Haney looks like he could possibly be fighting George Kambosos Jr., who's the newly crowned unified lightweight world champion. Devin Haney holds the WBC belt, so the winner of that fight looks like that fight could be taking place in April. So the winner of that fight will be officially undisputed. Gervonta Tank Davis versus the winner of that fight needs to happen, especially if Devin Haney, I'm sure, would stick around 135 for one more fight against Gervonta Tank Davis to defend his undisputed titles. That would be a massive pay-per-view worthy fight. Gervonta Tank Davis versus Devin Haney for undisputed. I feel like Devin Haney is going to beat George Kambosos Jr. So that means that Devin Haney versus Gervonta Tank Davis for a massive pay-per-view showdown at 135 for undisputed would be pay-per-view worthy. So there's much bigger fights and better fights for Gervonta Tank Davis. But this fight with Rolando Rolly Romero is owed and deserving to Rolando Rolly Romero because of how the fight and the food was taken off of his table, okay? And so with that said, you know, Rolando Rolly Romero stylistically is very unorthodox, very awkward. He's bigger than Gervonta Tank Davis. He has a lot of power. He's aggressive, and he has a lot of confidence. But he lacks on the defense department drastically. And I believe that Gervonta Tank Davis is very sharp, very accurate, with a lot of power, has a high ring IQ, and doesn't get enough credit for it. Everybody's enamored with Gervonta Tank Davis's power, okay? But when you look at the fight with Isaac Cruz and Gervonta Tank Davis, look at his skill set. Look at his ring IQ. Look at how he fought in the inside. Look how he fought in mid-range. Look how he fought on the outside. Look at the dynamics that he showed, the versatility that Gervonta Tank Davis showed, and look at the IQ. He fought on the back foot. He fought coming forward. If you look at Vasyl Lomachenko, who's a two-time Olympic gold medalist, 3-division champion, unified lightweight world champion, Ukrainian superstar boxer, who is considered to be the Matrix. Everybody's enamored with his footwork, his combinations. But if you look at his fights, when he's pressed and he's going backwards, he's not very active because he's not comfortable throwing combinations or even being offensive when his opponent is aggressive. So the one time he got dropped by Jorge Linares, and he unofficially got dropped by Gary Russell Jr. He lost to Orlando Salido, who was aggressive and pressing the fight and roughing him up. And then he lost the first 7 rounds en route to losing again for his second time against Teofimo Lopez, who was aggressive the first 7 rounds. So with that said, Gervonta Tank Davis's style works with him against Lomachenko. But if you look at Gervonta Tank Davis and compare how they view Lomachenko, and he's the Matrix in his skill set, well, you look at what Isaac Cruz, who was aggressive, who was pressing the fight like very much so like Orlando Salido pressed Lomachenko, and look at the way Gervonta Tank Davis made adjustments and dealt with it, and look at the way Lomachenko made adjustments and dealt with it. That'll explain a lot about the skill set of Gervonta Tank Davis. So it looks like March, we're going to get Gervonta Tank Davis versus Rolando Rolly Romero. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. But he's definitely next. That's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. All one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Oh, it is your boy Jada Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.